Hello, this is Kylie Lockhart with SATC 240 Assignment 4, and this is going to be over the 33 CFR Part 142, Workplace Safety and Health, and there are 3 parts, and the first part is general, that's A, and then B is personal protective equipment, and C is general workplace conditions, and I'll be going over that today. Alright, for A, this is purpose. This part is intended to promote workplace safety and health by establishing requirements relating to personnel, workplace activities and conditions, and equipment on the outer continental shelf. Okay, duties of lessees, permittees, and persons responsible for actual operations. So each holder of a lease or permit under the Act shall ensure that all places of employment within the lease area or within the area covered by the permit of the OCS are maintained in compliance with the workplace safety and health regulations of this part, and in addition, free from recognized hazards. So the persons responsible for actual operation, including the owners, operators, contractors, and subcontractors, shall ensure that these operations subject to their control are conducted in compliance with the workplace safety and health regulations. So the recognized hazards in paragraphs A and B of the section means conditions which are generally known among persons in the affected industry as causing or likely to cause death or serious physical harm to persons exposed to those conditions, and routinely controlled in the affected industry. Reports of unsafe working conditions. Any person may report a possible violation of any regulation in this subchapter or any other hazardous or unsafe working conditions on any unit engaged in OCS activities to an officer in charge marine inspection. So the purpose and applicability is the B part. So this is the beginning of the second one. So this subpart prescribes requirements concerning personal protection on OCS facilities. The use of equipment. So each holder of a lease or permit issued under the Act shall ensure that all personnel who are required by the subpart to use or wear personal protective equipment to do so within the lease area or the area covered by the permit. The persons responsible for actual operations shall ensure that all personnel engaged in the operation properly use or wear the personal protective equipment specified by this subpart. Eye and face protection. So personal engagement in or observing welding, grinding, machining, chipping, handling hazardous materials, or burning or cutting shall wear the eye and face protection. Eye and face protectors must be maintained in good condition, and each eye and face may be marked with what is required by the ANSI Z87.1 for that type of protector. So the head protection, personnel in the areas that is hazard of the following objects may come in contact with electrical conductors shall wear a head protector meeting the requirements for the hazard involved. So it must be marked by the information that's specified in the ANSI Z89.1. So the foot protection, so you must wear like steel toe boots whenever you are around anything that may cause harm to you. So each pair of footwear must be marked again, just as everything else will be. Then protective clothing, there must be protective clothing where there are flying particles, molten metal, radiant heat, heavy dust, or hazardous metals. Shall wear clothing and gloves providing protection against the hazard involved. And then the respiratory infection, this is where you must wear these in case of like it coming through your lungs and having harm to you. So all respiratory infection must be approved, used, and maintained. So you're all trained, set forth in section 7 of the ANSI Z88.2 concerning proper use of the equipment to be used and generally recognize short and long-term harmful effects of the exposure to the atmosphere involved. Then again, safety belts and lifelines. Except when moving from one location to another, a person engaged in any activity there is a hazard of falling 10 or more feet must wear a safety belt or harness. Each safety belt and lanyard must meet the requirements for the ANSI A10.14. Personal flotation devices. When working in a location that in event of a fall they would likely fall into water, shall wear with a work vest that meets the requirements of the 33 CFR 146.20 or life preservers, so in case you fall in the water it may blow up and you will float. So the eyewash equipment is the portable or fixed eyewash equipment providing emergency relief, must be immediately available near the drill floor, mudrooms, and other areas where there is reasonable probability that eye injury may occur. The purpose and applicability. This subpart prescribes requirements relating to the general work conditions on the OCS facilities, which this is Part C. And then housekeeping, all staging platforms and other working surfaces, ramps, stairways, they must stay clear with the portable tools, materials, and equipment not in use be properly cleaned. Substances which create a tripping and slipping hazard when engaged in activity on a drill floor in which the spilling of drilling fluid is inevitable, such as when pulling wet strings of drill pipe. Footwear and flooring designed to reduce slipping sustainably must be used instead of keeping the drill floor free of drilling fluid during the activity. Guarding of the deck openings. Opening in decks accessible to personnel must be covered, guarded, and otherwise made inaccessible when not in use. And then the lockout tagout, while these are going to be placed at the point where the equipment connects to a power source and the location of the control panel activating the power. The equipment is being worked on, and if the power source is disconnected of the equipment deactivated, that the power source may not be connected or the equipment activated. And that is it today. Thank you for listening, and this is Kylie Lockhart in SATC 240 Assignment 4.